I wanted to talk to you about the one specific thing that has revolutionized my thought and my attitude towards leadership. One of the issues is that I cannot remember where I heard this from. It was at some convention, some leadership discussion, or maybe that's not what the important part is. It's the fact of the actual content that changed my mind and my attitude. So I'm not trying to take credit from someone else because this is completely not my idea, but it was something that I learned somewhere. It's something that took a while for me to adapt to and to kind of cultivate. But now looking back on it, it is literally the one biggest change in what I've learned about leadership. Here's the thing, not everybody that is a born natural leader is a good nurturing leader. I played basketball in high school. I was horrible, our team was horrible, but I learned a lot about leadership. I learned a lot about dealing with people through playing basketball. And through my basketball career, as I would like to call it, I had two different coaches. One was a very relational coach. He built relationships with his players, and still to this day has relationships with those players from high school that he cultivated over the years. The other coach was more of a authoritarian. Instead of building relationships, he just demanded respect, no questions asked, barked orders, and expected people to follow. Both leadership styles will get results. Some will be short-term results in short bursts, and some will be long-term investments. So through those two different types of coaches in high school, our success ratio was still the same. We still were a losing basketball team. It did not change the outcome of our win-loss percentage. We just didn't play very well. We had issues understanding roles on a team. We had issues, and there were very few that wanted to be role players and understand the team aspect to work together for a common goal. So the relational coach over time built those relationships with players, but it took several years. And so the team finally turned into winning seasons. The point of it is that the relational coach built a relationship over time, learned to help develop his players, to get the best out of his players, and to cultivate an actual team environment. Running a business is much in the same way. You have to learn that not everybody, that you have different roles, and that everyone is going to play a different role in the success of a company. Getting back to one of the most transformational things that I've ever came across through leadership was this leadership checklist. I don't remember exactly where I learned it from. Number one on the checklist said good morning to people and thanked them for coming in. Second on the checklist, recognizing someone for doing good work today. Asked my people for their opinion this week on something and listened. Again, very simplistic thought process, but what it is doing is it's cultivating a mindset for a leader. Number four, ask people what was happening in their life outside of work. People think that you can separate business from personal, and they all integrate together. Number five, celebrating team wins. Probably a huge, not to say that one of these is more important than the other because they're not in any specific. When we do something great as a team, let's celebrate it together and understand that we can win. Number six, communicate what is happening in the larger company to keep people connected to the bigger picture. Once we started learning how to communicate what was happening in the big spectrum of our small company, that every person is getting that same consistent message and knows what's happening in all different reaches of the company. As your organization grows, you start developing small little departments, and then those little departments make their own decisions that then cultivate. And then before you know it, you have this department that's making one decision and going in this direction, another department that's going to this. And so you have to be able to communicate the big spectrum, what's happening to everybody, and keep everybody in the same direction. Number seven, demonstrated passion and enthusiasm for my own work. I've lost count here. I don't know. Number 8 maybe. Told a story or in some other way reminded my team of the higher purpose of their work. We all fall into this category of the day in, day out, we're doing the same old, or we get caught in some repetition and we just don't really understand the impact that we're having on the world around us, within our community, or whatever the case may be. And so as a leader, it's your responsibility to make sure that you're communicating that to the rest of your team. I believe this is number 9, but wrote a personal letter thanking someone of their work this week. This is really easy, but yet really difficult. I've talked about this before in other videos, but cultivating a positive mindset. One of the things that I try to do, I'm not good with handwritten notes, but I try to do it on occasion. But one of the things that I've found to be most impactful is text messages. Writing not a blast group text message to everybody in your organization, or taking the time to write a personal message to someone, if it's email, if it's text, or if it's handwritten. Mentored someone this week on my team with important feedback that will improve their career or their life. This is something that you can't just go into out of the gate. It takes time to cultivate the relationships, but I'm telling you, once you cultivate relationships and you have the ability to sit down with someone and mentor someone in their personal work or in their life, it is one of the most rewarding things from a leadership perspective. I think this is number 11. Communicated my expectations clearly this week so that my team knows what matters right now. Not just correct, but complete information. Learning how to communicate is the hardest thing from a leadership perspective. It is the most complicated thing to. You always have to be working on your communication. The one thing that you, as a leader, can constantly do is improve your communication delivery. Probably one of the more difficult things to execute on is to write a personal letter to a customer this week and thank them for their business. So these are 12 simple yet complicated items that will immediately change your outlook and your perspective and your entire mindset around leadership. This was just a kickstart to get things moving in the right direction. It is never too late to adapt your leadership styles and to always refine your leadership mindset, your leadership styles, and constantly be striving to be a better leader.